That's why it's not car service to Philly, private jet to Philly.
Oh, and then I'm going to Florida with him, too. I'm sorry. I was going to break that one to y'all.
Back here with Chris Canty, braiding the Pats, trying to make it 7 in a row. Marcus Mariota and the Titans would have other plans. Titans jump out to a 7-3 lead to Jonnu Smith later in the quarter. Mariota connects with Corey Davis. Tennessee up 14-3. Let's fast forward to the end of the half. Titans up 24-10. Brady gets sacked, one of 2 sacks on the day. This one going for the Hail Mary. Brady wouldn't even finish the game. To make matters worse, Julian Edelman left with an injury. Pat, Canty. Titans blow out New England 34-10. Here's Brady after the loss.
In the NFL, it's hard to win. You can't expect just to show up and win. That doesn't give the other team enough credit. And today we just played a bad game. And you see what happens, and hopefully there's more urgency as we go forward. And our whole season's ahead of us, and we'll see what we do with it.
Yeah, it's a real sweet win. Especially when you used to be there and they didn't want to bring you back. So definitely real sweet. I'm happy my teammates came out and played, and I love these guys.
So it is a little personal.
Hell yeah, it's personal. That's what happens when you go cheap. You get your ass kicked.
What, Chris Canty?
Oh, it's personal when that kind of stuff starts coming out in a post-game interview.
Where the fact that that's in their head, post-game, pre-game,
that's in his head, but not just him. It's in Mike Vrabel's head. It's in Dean Pease' head, the defensive coordinator. It's in Malcolm Butler's head after what Belichick did to him in the Super Bowl.
The general manager, he's a former New England guy.
Yep.
Well, and keep in mind, I'm sorry, just real quick, when you say Vrabel, Vrabel didn't like how he left New England.
No.
Vrabel wanted to stay there.
Nobody likes how they leave New England. Nobody.
Vrabel thought he earned a contract extension with his 3 Super Bowl rings and I think 11 touchdown receptions on 11 pass catches. Asked for more money, and he was a throw-in the Matt Castle trade. Go ahead and leave here. So
me with that.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Jimmy. You can ask the question.
What'd you learn about the Patriots last night?
Well, here's the thing. They got off to a slow start on the road in a sleepy environment. For anybody that's ever played down in Nissan Stadium down in Nashville, it's one of those sleepy type of places where the home team can jump out on you and get on you early if you're not prepared.
Sleepy?
It's just not one of those intense environments. It's not like you're walking in the Heinz Field or you're walking into the Link in Philadelphia.
Shouldn't that help the Patriots? Shouldn't that help the road team?
Well, you would think it would help the road team, but it doesn't when you realize that the Patriots in the last 5 games have had 4 8-o'clock kicks. So that's the thing that you think about, and especially when you're on the road.
Yeah.
Football players are creatures of habit. And so when you're used to kicking off at 8 o'clock, when you got a 1 o'clock kick, that's a little bit of a shock to the system, and it showed in the first half. I thought that the Titans did a great job of winning first and second down on both sides of the ball. They didn't give Tom Brady those easy throws in between the numbers, right on the hashes. They took those away. They matched up well in the underneath zones, and then they forced him to go to his second and third reads, and guess what? That gave Jarrell Casey and company just enough time to affect the throw. On the offensive side of the ball, the Titans kept their foot on the gas. They were able to stay in manageable downs and distances, and when they worked it down in the red zone, they were able to come up with touchdowns, not field goals, 3 or 4 in the red zone in the first half. And I think that was the big thing for that team. Being able to score on 4 of their first 6 possessions in the first half, that dictated the complexion of the game, and that was all they needed to cruise to an early victory.
A very impressive, not only this win by the Titans, but let's not forget what they did to Dallas last week. Because if what Dallas did to Philadelphia last night, you can take little snapshots and be like, well, maybe we underestimated how good Tennessee is. Because they handled New England very well. They had a good game plan. And from an offensive standpoint, how the Titans attacked New England was very impressive to me. The offensive coordinator, Matt LaFleur, even when the game was being highly contested at the end, he was still very aggressive in his play calling. Ran a reverse, threw a pass to Mariota again. So they were very, very aggressive. Couple Marcus Mariota's throws there. You saw the one to Davis there in the end zone. A guy who's been disappointing throughout his first couple years, Corey Davis, as trying to emerge as their number 1. Beautiful toss right there. This was the best game that Marcus has played this season against the Pats. The Pats just aren't a great or dominant team. Nick, you pointed out that, man, they struggle when they leave Gillette.
On the road this year, man, it's a problem. They have now 3 double-digit road losses. That's more than any full season in Belichick's entire tenure as the head coach.
Now, it's not like they went to Kansas City, went to the Rams, went to Green Bay.
Blown out by Jacksonville. Jacksonville stinks. Blown out by Detroit. Detroit's not much better. go to Chicago. Now, you can say, oh, they scored 38. Man, their offense struggled in that game. They needed 2 special teams touchdowns to win that game. At Buffalo, they had 12 points with 16 minutes left in that game.
They had to get a pick 6.
A pick 6 is what sealed it, and now blown out by, I think it's fair to say blown out, lost by 24 to the Titans. Their offense has been non-existent this year if they don't have a running game. Their offense has not looked like a Patriots offense unless it's had a consistent running game. Yesterday, 19 carries for 40 yards. And on the flip side, Titans, man, they got the number 1 defense in football. It shocked me when I saw it last week. Number 1 scoring defense in football. They confirmed that standing, holding the Pats to 10 points. And Canty, you mentioned the slow first half. Second half, Pats not much better.
Yep.
Here's what they did in the second half. 3 plays punt, 8 plays punt, 5 plays punt, 7 plays turnover on downs, 3 plays punt. Like, no real extended drives in the second half after the slow first half.
I'm fascinated by the home and the road success or lack of success. Because if there's any team where a coach will actually write practice for road environments, if there's any team who gets their players ready, don't we talk about this all the time? That if Belichick knows they're probably going to do this, they'll probably do this. This is with crowd noises. Let's pump that in. I feel like the Patriots should be the most disciplined team when it comes to preparing for road games, which is why that seems so surprising to me.
This is the problem on the road. Role players play better at home. So you also have to account in the Titans. Their role players are going to play better in that home environment. Also, I have to check daylight savings time. Might have been an actual 12 Central Time start. Tennessee, they do have daylight savings time there. So actually on the clock, when you're in the ballpark at noon, compared to if you've had 3 late starts, those are the types of things. Do I eat the right thing? Because if you're eating a late game, if you're having a late game, Jenna, you asked me this before. It's hard to just eat pancakes all day or oatmeal because you typically are playing early, so you have a little earlier breakfast. Now you might have to go to a steak or pasta or something like that. I didn't like playing at night. And I didn't like the fact because I had to eat late, so I used to eat breakfast twice.
But you probably would have gotten used to it if it was... If the Patriots, I think one of the reasons you don't like playing at night is you say guys like to get in a habit, in a rhythm. To your point, I hadn't thought about that at all. I think it's a brilliant point, Canty, that the Patriots, all of a sudden, their routine
was
for this last half of the season's been playing at night. Like the odd thing for them is the 1 p.m. start. So that's one that hadn't occurred to me. The other thing, though, Canty, Tom Brady these last 3 weeks, I know he hadn't turned the ball over. Jenny, you said it earlier. How many touchdown passes last 3 weeks?
3.
1. It's
one
okay.
Also.
Thank you. That was a good job.
How long Rob Gronkowski been out again?
3 weeks.
Okay, there you go.
1.
And so
I give up.
And so he's not turning the ball over like he was the first half dozen games of the year. But he hasn't been as productive. This was as unproductive a game from Brady as we've seen in quite some time.
Now, Nick, this might have been the start that you had predicted last year. This is what you were expecting to see last year.
No, it's true.
Man, I might have pulled the trigger a year early
1 year
on
early,
Brady
but that's not a bad deal.
and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Why didn't I just wait until this show to unveil the Eagles are frauds, that take, and the Brady's cook take? I should have waited a year, and now it won't have any impact.
Let me tell you who's going to be the last to that Brady is over the hill take.
You?
I'm going to be the last one to that party.
I got to the party
Brady
so
will be
early,
there before Canty.
I had to leave, and I'm still going to show up before other people.
Got to take a break. Canty, stick around. Coming up, are the Cowboys' playoff hopes still alive after beating the Eagles? That and more stats, more trivia questions that Nick's going to ask me next. No, first things first.
You trying to say, Daddy, I still think it's interesting that you said that Brady was